In the world of Avatar 7 Havens, the four nations are gone and all that is left is a post-apocalyptic wasteland, where spirits and humans alike hunt the Avatar. But why is the world like this? Well, according to an audience tester, the people of the Avatar world believe that Korra did this and that she destroyed the world. And now the surviving population in the Avatar world is fearful of the Avatar. The official Avatar Instagram also hinted at this being a possibility, with Jeanette Varney saying this.
Because in the era of 7 Havens, being the Avatar means you're humanity's destroyer, not savior.
Wow. I wonder what the last Avatar did to cause that.
Now, I don't know whether this is an intentional misdirection from Avatar Studios or not. All I know is that this is what you, the audience, is led to believe going into the show, and this is also what the people of the Avatar world believe. So today we had a bit of a fun video planned. Today we are going to be solving this mystery together. I am going to be gathering your best and worst theories on why Korra destroyed the world, along with some of my own as well. And to make it even better, we're gonna mix it up. We're not gonna just make a list video, we're gonna have a tier list. I know everyone loves tier list, it's the most popular thing in the world. Anyway, here are our categories. We have crackpot, probably not happening, could happen, good chance of happening, and the most likely scenarios. So, let's get into it. Now, the first theory we have here, I guess, is the Asami death theory. As we all know from the ending of The Legend of Korra, Korra and Asami start a relationship. So I guess in this theory, something happens to Asami, maybe she gets kidnapped, maybe she dies, I don't know. The point is, Korra goes berserk after her death and destroys the world. I actually saw a similar theory about Naga, and come on, that's just insane, guys. That is just never happening. I'm not even gonna list that here. And honestly, as far as Asami dying goes, I don't think Korra would be so immature to destroy the world over someone's death, even if it is someone as important as Asami. So yeah, this theory, we're just gonna put that in crackpot. I think this one is supposed to be humans deserved it. In the humans deserved it theory, Korra sides with the spirit world and join forces to destroy all life in the physical world. The motives of her doing this would be that humans deserved it, for all of the strife between humans and spirits. The people who support this theory typically believe that humanity started harnessing the energy of the spirit vines for destructive purposes, further beyond than what Kuvira did. But I think this one is pretty much impossible. A big reason for that is because I don't see Korra betraying all of her friends. Now, maybe there's something there if humanity made a bunch of spirit nukes or something and Korra tried to get rid of them and it backfired, and then that's how this all happened. But for right now, the humanity deserved it theory, yeah, I think that's going and probably not happening. A common theme in a lot of these upcoming theories that we're going to be talking about is that Korra destroying the world was actually just some sort of misunderstanding of some kind. But what if Korra not only meant to destroy the world, but also had malicious intent? So, in this theory, Korra turns evil for some reason and becomes a villain. Not just like, oh no, she's possessed. No, like actually, she has a change of heart, where she genuinely just wants to see all of humanity eradicated off the map. She then enacts some sort of plan, possibly even at the cost of her own life, to see that dream of humanity's destruction fulfilled. Now, I'm not gonna lie, this theory seems really unlikely. Turning a previous protagonist who wasn't foreshadowed as being evil, randomly evil, is kinda bad writing. But then again, this would be so unexpected that I almost like it. An alternate version of this theory is that instead of Korra just going evil, Korra slowly goes insane. Some people have mentioned that her losing the connections to her past lives over a long period of time might drive her crazy. I'm not exactly sure why this would happen, but considering that cutting off the past connections seems like a big deal, it does kind of make sense that her losing the connection to the past lives would have some major ramifications on her life. But I don't know, man. I just don't see it happening. I'm gonna put it in probably not happening. One of the most popular theories going around is that this is going to be some sort of bait and switch situation, and Avatar Studios is just playing into the whole Korra destroyed the world narrative. There are a few different ways people think this is going to go down. Some people think a meteor is going to crash into the Avatar world, while others think it's going to be some other catastrophic event that's going to hit the Avatar world and wipe out the four nations. And Korra's inability to stop it is the reason she gets blamed for quote unquote destroying the world. Some others believe that the bait and switch will be her getting framed by someone or something, but out of all of the bait and switch theories, I think this one is the most likely, if we're going to go down that route, which is the common enemy route. You all know this route, you all probably hate this route, or at least I do. You may have seen this in other popular shows like Attack on Titan or Neon Genesis Evangelion, where the main character quote unquote turns bad and starts destroying the world and hopes to unite people against them. Well, how could this work in Avatar? There is some evidence to support this theory. We know from the official logline that the Avatar is now hunted by both spirits and humans alike. So the theory goes like this. After Korra opened the spirit portals, spirits and humans just couldn't get along. No matter how much time passed, they couldn't do it. Much like in Wan's time, there were constant fighting, wars. So to stop this, Korra decides humanities and spirits need a common enemy. So Korra makes the ultimate sacrifice and becomes that common enemy. The humans and spirits are forced to unite to stop her. She ends up dying, but in that process, peace is found between spirits and humans, essentially sacrificing herself and some of humanity in the short term for longer lasting peace. Now, for people who say Korra wouldn't do this because the next Avatar would be hated too, it's actually canon that Korra thought there was a pretty good chance that the Avatar cycle would be over and that she would be the last Avatar. And there is an entire book about that. I made a video about it here if you want to go check that out. Personally, I don't like this theory, but it could happen. Sozin's Comet comes around every 100 years, and by the time of the Legend of Korra, it had already been over 60 years since it passed. So, unless Korra died really young, Sozin's Comet is happening in her lifetime. Now, this theory is pretty interesting because it can be tied back to almost every single other theory. Korra wants to unite the world against her? Well, let's harness Sozin's Comet. Vaatu takes over Korra? Oh, let's harness Sozin's Comet. Spirit nukes are a problem? Let's harness Sozin's Comet. Let's take them out with Sozin's Comet. See, it can always be tied back to this. I do think they're going to want to have some callbacks to the original series, and Sozin's Comet is an excellent way to do that, and it would explain why Korra had enough power to destroy the world, and it would also explain why anyone had enough power to destroy the world. Now, I think Sozin's Comet has a good chance of appearing in the cataclysmic event. I don't know how it's going to happen. I don't know if Korra is going to use it or not. I don't know if someone else is going to be using it, but it makes sense that it's going to appear in some way, shape, or form. So yeah, it has a good chance of happening. So if you remember at the end of season 2 of The Legend of Korra, Korra chooses to leave the spirit portals open. This was in contradiction to Avatar 1, who had previously decided it was best to keep the spirits and humans separate. Obviously, Korra doing this allowed spirits and humans to move freely between the worlds. In this theory, evil spirits such as Ko or Father Glowworm, whom by the way we know is likely an early antagonist in Seven Havens based on the leaks, or maybe just another spirit who looks like a giant eyeball. I don't know. I just think it's Father Glowworm. Who knows? It's not crazy to think that these spirits would have some sort of role in destroying the world. While Ko and Father Glowworm are super powerful spirits and could maybe destroy a city, I have a hard time believing that they would be powerful enough to completely destroy the world. Maybe with the help of hundreds of other evil spirits or something that boosts their power, they could maybe do it. But then again, we know from Realms Collide that Father Glowworm can pretty much be as big as he wants. Like, look at this man. Oh my god. I do think there is a good chance of the spirits being involved in some way, shape, or form. Now, I obviously don't think that they're the reason the world got destroyed, but I can see them playing a small role into it, so I could see it happening. Spirit nukes. Good old spirit nukes. I see this theory everywhere. So we know in The Legend of Korra Season 4, we see Varric designing spirit technology, which eventually leads to spirit weaponry like the giant mech suit in the spirit canon. So this theory suggests that one of the four nations developed spirit nukes. Korra, being the Avatar, she needs to keep balance in the world. So she knows she can't destroy the nukes or else, goodbye world. So she decides to distribute all of the nukes evenly across the four nations. And what happens when everyone has a nuke? Well, it's a game of chicken. Once one person uses their nuke, the rest starts flying. Because Korra made what is seen as the wrong decision and didn't get rid of the nukes or, find a way to get rid of the nukes, she gets the blame for the end of the world. This theory, although it's a little weird and a little not that exciting, I guess, I could see it happening. Speaking of spirit vines and spirit technology, this next theory is a different take on what could happen if humans mess with spirit vines just a little bit too much. In this theory, humans would become too reliant on spirit technology. Instead of just using it for weaponry, they use it for everything. Their electricity, computers, rocket power, bioengineering. For whatever reason, using the spirit technology in this way causes the world to go out of balance. And this would be the cause for random energy storms that happen in Seven Havens. Basically, this theory is saying that the energy storms would be the root cause of the world getting destroyed. Although a little boring, I think has a good chance of happening. This one is Vaatu taking control of Korra. Now, I know how this seems. This seems insane. You're like, there's no way this could happen. Well, let's talk about it. If you've seen my other coverage of Seven Havens, or have at least kept up with the leaks, you'll know that there are a lot of hints at Pavi and Nisha both being the dark and light avatar, respectively. This is hinted at with their names being loosely translated to light and dark, as well as their color schemes, their cat's colors, their cat's names. Based on this, we can assume that Pavi is in possession of Rava, and Nisha is in possession of Vaatu. Now, of course, there is room for this to be wrong, but since as of right now, we know that they're both avatars, this is what makes sense. Okay, so the point I'm trying to get to here is that if Vaatu is going to be a major player in the series, it's extremely likely he was involved in the destruction of the world in some capacity. And considering it's been established by Bryke that Korra had absorbed Vaatu after defeating Unalaq in season 2, and that one day Vaatu will reawaken, well, then maybe that reawakening is what triggered the destruction of the world. Possibly Vaatu takes control of Korra's body and uses the power of the Avatar to destroy the world, or maybe Vaatu awakening inside her causes some sort of cataclysmic event. It really could be anything. If Nisha actually has Vaatu inside of her and Pavi has Rava, then this is the most likely scenario. Now, let's say Vaatu isn't involved, Nisha doesn't have Vaatu, and they both have Rava for some reason. Well, I have one more theory that could work. Now, originally I did write this huge section trying to explain this theory, and it kind of just overcomplicated things, so I'm gonna keep it simple. You guys remember the spirit vines that are taking over Republic City? In this theory, the vines just kept spreading and eventually grew to destroy everything in its path. We even see in some concept art that was leaked that Omashu was taken over by spirit vines, and it almost looks like it was crushed by them. Now, the only reason why I like this theory a little bit is because it's kind of clever in its own way, because we would have already have seen her made the decision to destroy the world all the way back in the original Korra series. Now, I know what you're thinking. If the vines grew so strong and so powerful that it destroyed the world, why wouldn't Korra just close off the portals? You could explain this away like Korra made the decision, she's just letting the spirits and humans run their natural course, or maybe she tried and the spirits just didn't take it well. It's not crazy to think that the spirits would start thinking of these territories as their own, and trying to kick them out one day randomly maybe wouldn't go as smoothly as you would hope. Or maybe Korra tried kicking them out and it led to another cataclysmic event on top of the spirit vines taking over. There are just so many different possibilities. Anyway, let me know what you guys thought of all of these theories, and also please, if you have your own theories that you think are better, leave those in the comment section too, because I would love to read them.